Raishiki Kanjo Sentoki, Japanese for Type 0 carrier-based fighter, also known as the Ryzen by the Japanese and Zeke by the Americans, but most commonly known as the Zero. It was one of the most advanced and deadly naval fighter planes of early World War II. Hi there, I'm Eclipse, and I'll be walking you through the specifications and tactics of this aircraft today, so sit back and enjoy. Now, if you click this video, you're either a beginner at this marvelous plane or you just suck at it. But fear not, my fellow pilot, you've come to the right place. This video will not only carefully guide you on how to play this aircraft and its variants, but hopefully improve your flying skills in general. So without further delay, let's begin. Now I know what you may be thinking, but Eclipse, I already know how to fly the Zero. All I need to do is turn fight and go Tenno no Heka Banzai at the enemy. Well, not quite. If you really know the Zero, then let me ask you this. Do you know its respective operational speeds? Do you know how to identify the gauges inside the cockpit? Do you know at what altitudes you should operate? Do you know how to prepare top-of-the-class sashimi? If you know the answer to any of these questions, well, good for you. But if your answer to each and every one of them was, then we may have a problem. Let's take a close look at the aircraft, shall we? The Zero is a single-seater, single-engine, long-range, low-wing monoplane. Its empty weight can go from 1.6 to 1.8 tons depending on the variant. Its engine is a Nakajima Sake reciprocating 14-cylinder, 2-rows, air-cooled radial engine that can provide 940 to 1100 horsepower depending on the variant. The airframe's dimensions change, again, depending on the variant, but all of them have something in common. No armor and no fuel tank protection. So listen carefully when I say this. Do not get hit. Like, literally, a single incendiary 50 caliber is enough to set you on fire and, well, make you experience a horrible and painful death. Speaking of fuel tanks, the Zero has 3 of them. One on each wing and one located right behind the central cooling system. Its armament consists of 2 nose-mounted 7.7 Type 97 machine guns and 2 wing-mounted 20mm Type 99 Mark I cannons. I'll briefly explain the differences between the variants and list the recommended operational speeds, which are VS, or stall speed in clean configuration, VSO, which is stall speed in landing configuration, VR, which is rotation speed, VY, which is the best rate of climb speed. If you're wondering why I'm not using the best angle of climb, you can pause the video and read the description. Landing speed, VNE, the never exceed speed, dogfight speed, which is the recommended speed in an engagement that will ensure the best turn and roll rate, and VFE, maximum flaps extended speed. Keep in mind that VNE and VFE are a little bit slower than the actual ones. When you reach these speeds, you'll start getting the warning message. Starting out with the A6M2N, it's the first Zero in the Japanese tech tree, a seaplane variant. It has the advantage of having 20mm with such a low BR. However, those floats are a huge disadvantage, as it has an additional fuel tank, which means more risk of catching fire, and limits its maneuverability by a lot. Avoid long dogfights with this variant, as it struggles to do complete rolls and loses energy very quickly. It carries 120 shells for the 20mm and 1,360 bullets for the 7.7s. Speed recommendations are listed in kilometers per hour and knots indicated airspeed, or IAS, and are as follows. The A6M2A Model 21, the first A6M2 prototype. This variant drops the floats, and therefore its maneuverability increases drastically, and as such, so do the operational speeds, due to the now absent drag. However, one downside of this particular variant is that it doesn't have a tailhook, so landing on a carrier will be complicated. Speed recommendations are as follow. The A6M2B Model 21. This variant was one which was mass-produced, and features a tailhook for carrier operations. It's almost identical to the Model 11, and as such, the speed recommendations are the same. The A6M3 Model 32. Now, with a shorter wingspan, square wings, and a new NK1F21 engine, This variant has a better roll rate, better climb rate, increased diving speed, and slightly more maneuverability. Better yet, it has more ammunition, with 200 shells for the 20s and 1400 bullets for the 7.7s. Speed recommendations are as follow. The A6M3 Model 22. This model goes back to the A6M2 wing concept, but with reworked wing designs. That, in combination with the new engine, makes this variant the most maneuverable of all the ones in the game, although your roll rate and dive speed will be decreased once again. Here are the speed recommendations for this aircraft. The A6M3 Model 22 Co. This variant is virtually identical to the Model 22, but now features an upgraded armament with new long-barrel Type 99 Mark II cannons. The speed recommendations are the same as the Model 22. The A6M5 Model 52. This variant now combines the advantages of the Model 32 and the Model 22, shortening the wingspan once again, but this time with the elliptic wing design, which improves once again the diving speed and roll rate, while maintaining very good maneuverability. The engine now has additional exhaust stacks, which provides more residual thrust. This variant can go slightly faster than the previous ones in level flight, and for the first time, this variant is equipped with CO2 fire extinguishers. Don't expect some P-47 self-sealing fuel tank though. This just increases the probabilities of putting out a fire, so it's still recommended that you don't get hit. Speed recommendations for this aircraft are as follows. The A6M5A Model 52 Co. This variant is identical to the Model 52, however this one comes with the advantage of having those sweet premium plane bonuses, and also features another ammunition count increase, with 250 shells for your 20 mils. Speed recommendations are the same as the Model 52. The A6M5B Model 52 Otsu. This model is the very last variant in the tech tree. In terms of performance, it's almost the same as the other two variants, but what makes this one stand out is the addition of a new 13.2mm Type 3 machine gun, which replaces the nose-mounted 7.7s. Now you can do far more damage without the need of using 20mm cannons. But wait, there's more. This variant also has a 13mm thick steel plate behind the pilot, and a 45mm thick bulletproof glass panel in front of the cockpit to improve survivability. So now you have less probabilities of having one of those bullshit pilot snipes when the bullets haven't even touched your plane yet. It has 250 shells for the 20 mils, 230 rounds for the 13.2s, and 700 rounds for the 7.7s. The speed recommendations are the same as the Model 52 once again. Next, we'll quickly familiarize ourselves with the cockpit. I'm not saying you should memorize where the oil, fuel, oxygen, and temperature gauges are. After all, no one really looks directly at these, especially when you have the HUD. However, it is a good idea to identify the 6 basic instruments that every plane has in order to fly. These are known by pilots as the 6-pack, which are the following: the airspeed indicator, altitude indicator or artificial horizon, the altimeter, the turn coordinator, the heading indicator, and the vertical speed indicator. The canopy, despite having lots of bars which can create small blind spots around you, has an excellent back visibility, so you can easily spot an enemy on your 6. Next, let's talk about how you should fly this plane. First off, takeoff. This plane has an insanely short takeoff distance, so as soon as you spawn, lower your flaps to takeoff position and punch it with WEP. As soon as you lift off, raise your gear, then raise your flaps as soon as you reach your VY. Now listen. The Zero is a low to mid-altitude fighter, so you can start forgetting about getting higher than your enemy. Yes, I know it sounds absurd, but BNZ is not going to work for you, as the Zero's energy retention is equal or worse than its adversaries. Not to mention that problem with all Zeros have when diving, which is the controls locking up due to high speeds. Act like some Samurai Jack ripoff. Let the battle come to you. Try considering 15,000 feet as your maximum ceiling. Of course, you can climb higher than that, but your performance will start to decrease. It's not recommended to use the manual engine settings, as it just adds more things that you should be focused on. So your best bet is to leave it on auto, and believe me, you won't need to use it. A very good thing about the Zero is its high load factor limits. If you pull too many Gs in a maneuver, probabilities are that your pilot, even aced, will pass out before ripping the plane apart. Wings usually can only be ripped if they hit 20 Gs in realistic battle. Seriously, the only way you would rip your wings off is by playing as if you were in Ace Combat Assault Horizon. Now we'll look at the pros and cons of this plane. It has insane maneuverability. That means it's got excellent roll and turn rate. It's got a very good climb rate. Efficient katana launcher cannons, Hirohito approved. It's fit for carrier operations, meaning you can land and take off on an aircraft carrier with relative ease. Unless you hit the tower. Every fucking time. It has very good acceleration, excellent back visibility, has the ability to carry bombs, as small as they may be, and the engine takes forever to overheat, so you can whip as much as you want. Now the cons. Limited 20mm ammunition. Its airframe is pretty much made out of rice paper. It's slow, prone to catching on fire and burning to death. The canopy design limits visibility. The controls lock in a high-speed dive. 7.7s do as much damage as a baby kitten with boxing gloves. And as the bombs are the same size as an underage lolly girl, you're gonna have a hard time hitting anything. So there you go. Now you know more about the Zero apart from it being a turn fighter. Situational awareness implies knowing what's going on outside and inside your plane. A distracted pilot is a dead pilot. First, you'll need to look around you constantly. Check your six, above you, below you. Pretty much have 360 vision all around at all times. You never know when those boom and zoomers might be up to something. Check your mini radar. It may have a highlight on somebody on your blind spots. Check your stats, such as temperature, ammunition count, and fuel. I can assure you that you'll have better judgment on when you should disengage by checking these. Check your altitude and speed, even if you're not engaging anyone. It's always good to have energy prepared for any dogfights. Watch your position on the map and how far you are away from allied planes. They might end up saving you if you get into trouble. Or they'll just watch you as you get shot down. It's really a 50-50. This part is going to be quick. Usually many people will tell you to go down the performance line first, save the gun and ammunition for last. This is where I have to state the contrary. You see, the stock belts are absolute garbage. It'll take your entire 20mm ammo to take down a single fighter, so what I suggest is you get the belts as soon as possible, as the Zero can do very good with stock performance. Once you get your belts, get universal for both guns. The high explosive fragmentation shells on the 20mm will surely cripple, if not destroy the enemy after a couple of bursts. Tracers have high explosive fragmentation shells too, but they tend to spark more. As for the pilot, focus on getting G tolerance. That will be a must, along with stamina and vitality. Then get the rest of the abilities leveled up. Now that you know how to use this plane, you'll need to know how to use it against the enemy. You'll face allied planes from the US, USSR, and the UK. The Americans at low BR rely more on maneuverability than speed. Planes such as the F-2A, P-40, and the P-36, although less maneuverable than the A-6M2, can catch up with you if you're not careful. At the same time, you can also catch up with them in terms of speed and climb rate. But things start to get annoying as the Americans at higher tiers go for... Yeah. All planes from 3.7 and beyond will do only one thing. They'll go to Andromeda, dive, and smite you as if they were God himself striking your weeaboo ass from the skies, and then outrun you at such a speed that you would think McDonald's was going out of business. When fighting American planes, assume the following for the majority of them. Soviet planes will work the same way as Americans, with the exception of a couple of planes you should be careful with. The Yak series, which can turn fight very decently. Again, obviously not as good as the Zero, but still. And the I-153P Chaika, which can actually outturn you if handled properly. When fighting Soviet planes, assume the following for the majority of them. It's not uncommon to face the British in the Zero. With that being said, they're also a pain in the ass to deal with. Virtually the only fighters you'll face is Spitfires, with the exceptions such as the Typhoon and the Tempest. The Spitfire's combination of energy and turn fight capabilities makes it, in my opinion, the most dangerous enemy. When fighting Spitfires, you can assume the following. First off, the most common mistake a lot of Japanese pilots make: head-ons. I can't emphasize this enough. Never, ever head-on anything. You'll either get killed miserably or you'll die along with the enemy. To avoid a head-on engagement, do the following maneuver, which almost always works. Once the enemy decides to head on you, try to fool him by looking like you're accepting the challenge. Then, as you get closer, bank slightly to either direction, to not face the enemy directly. This way you'll force him to bank too. Do not lose sight of the enemy. The enemy will do a sharp bank to keep up with you. As soon as you see him doing this, change your pitch quickly, then do a sharp bank in the opposite direction. The enemy will have to bank all the way to the opposite direction to keep up with you, but it will be too late by the time he's in position to shoot. Boom and zooms. Every experienced pilot knows the Zero is virtually impossible to defeat in a turn fight, so I can guarantee you that 99% of the enemies will boom and zoom you instead. Here's a suggested way in dealing with such a maneuver. When you spot a plane trying to boom and zoom you, turn in their direction while flying leveled. This way you'll force the enemy to either pitch further down or turn his plane upside down and make a high G maneuver to keep up with you. Once he's close enough, do tight circles to throw his aim even more. He'll miss and overshoot you, and if he's smart enough, he'll go up in a straight line to try and get away. While he does this, you have time to gain energy. When a plane is on your 6, this is one of the easiest maneuvers that you can perform when on defensive flying. Simply pitch down and make a sharp turn. The enemy won't keep up with the maneuver and will overshoot. When you're on the offensive against fighters, try to get them off guard. If they notice you, they'll either pull you into a defensive position or just run away, leaving you behind. Against bombers, give them a taste of their own medicine. Boom and zoom them, and disengage immediately to avoid gunner fire. Do not chase the enemy. You'll just end up in their dust and, as I said before, let the battle come to you. And last but not least, trigger discipline. It's recommended that you use small bursts to attack the enemy. As stated before, your 20mm ammunition is very limited. What you want to avoid at all costs is long engagements. This concludes the lesson on how to zero. If you, the viewer, have learned something new, hit the like button and subscribe to Pandramodo for more War Thunder content. Thanks for watching, and good hunting. I'm Eclipse, and on behalf of PJ, I'll catch you on the next one.